Thank you everyone for watching my videos and subscribing and liking. It means a lot to me. And I came out with the 12th chapter. Tikitopia X Female Listener Part 12. Slenderman stood there, towering over me. I only knew who he was from stories. And those stories weren't good. I felt like my body was going to shake if I had looked at him any longer. Don't be afraid, my child. I just wanted to announce the party that's being held tonight in your honor of you joining us. I nodded, then just like that, he vanished. I didn't want to go to the party because I don't like parties due to a lot of people. So I was thinking I was just going to go to my room when the party started. I thought it would be kind of rude not to come because it was in my honor. But I just don't want to come. I looked out the front window from the living room and seeing it was sunset. Jeff came running down the stairs with party supplies in his hands. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a fun night tonight. His smile widened and he lifted his eyebrows twice, which made me feel uneasy. I went upstairs to my room, or what I assumed to be my room, because I woke up in it and I have all my stuff in it. I crawled under the sheets and blankets. Then I felt my eyelids get heavy and I closed my eyes and fell asleep. Later, I woke up and heard some scared screams from the next room to me. I shot up with my heart racing and my adrenaline kicking in. I don't think anyone else heard because I hear party music, laughing, and yelling. I don't think anyone would hear it. I grabbed my pocket knife out of my backpack that was sitting in the corner of my room. I ran out and heard it from the room next to mine. I tried the lock. Oh, it was locked. I took my pocket knife and jammed it into the door jamb to get the door open. When I looked inside, I seen Masky, but he was in the corner, shaking with his hands over his eyes, whimpering and yelling things like, "Get away." He was really scaring me. I ran over to him just for him to kick me in my stomach and knock me to the ground. I put my hand over my stomach where the pain was. It hurt quite a bit. I got on all fours and crawled up to him. "No, get away!" Masky cried, putting his arm in front of his face, trembling. I got closer to him and put my hand on his arm and started rubbing his arm. I put his arm down and he flinched at me. I put my hand on his head. He pulled away in a flinch, but I continued. Then he let me. "It's all right. None of this is real. I'm here now, so you don't have to worry. You're safe," I whispered to him softly. I embraced him into a hug. He was still shaking. After a while of whispering calming things to him and rubbing circles on his back, while in a hug, he calmed down. "Thank you. I feel better now." I hung out with him for a little longer to make sure he was okay. Then he dozed off, looking at the wall. Then he looked at me. "What the hell are you doing in my room?" He got up and slammed his fist on the desk. I didn't get it. What? He was nice one minute and then mad the next, like nothing happened earlier. "I've been in here for a while. We've been talking and hanging out." He laughed at me and looked at the ground, then back at you. "I wouldn't hang out with a loser like you if you were the last person on earth." Those words stung. I thought we were having a good time and becoming friends. I guess not. Well, I can't fight him. I don't want to. I thought for a second. Then I came up with a possibility. Is he bipolar? Or have a multiple personality disorder? I'll test the multiple personality disorder one first, since that's testable. If he fails it, then he's bipolar or just very moody. Hey, Masky, what do you remember before you try to kick me out of your room? The sound he made me think he made a grimacing face underneath that mask. I was peacefully in my freaking room until you decided to barge in and do what you want. I looked at him and tilted my head to the side, then sighed. Then tell me what you were screaming about. Tell me what you told me before you started yelling at me. Tell me what I did to comfort you when you were screaming, "Go away," in your room. Tell me what was the invisible thing that you were screaming out to go away. He looked at me and slammed his fist down on the desk in irritation. I felt kind of bad. He looked like he was panicking, that he didn't know what was going on. I've been there before. It sucks. I reached my hand out to stroke my hand through his hair. He swatted my hand away. "Don't freaking touch me," he said coldly. "Fine, I'll go away. But one more question. Do you have a personality disorder?" His head snapped in my direction. "Yeah. What are you gonna do, huh? Are you gonna drag me to a stupid mental hospital? All they're gonna do is drug the hell out of me for nothing," Masky snapped at me angrily. I thought of my foster dad telling me that he was going to put me in a mental hospital if I didn't stop saying I could see certain things and hear certain things that ended up not being there. I had ended up staying there for a while. It didn't happen all the time, so it was pretty normal actually, I found out. Just not every person goes through it that much, but it's not enough to be concerned about. No. And I do understand what you mean by drug the hell out of me for nothing. You're right. They just drug people up, tie them down, and expect them to get better. But it doesn't make them better. It makes them worse. I said the last bit quieter than the rest of what I had said. I turned around and was going to walk out the door. "How do you know about that?" I sighed and looked over to him. "Because I've been put in one before, and made me worse than before. I didn't have any problems when I went in, but I definitely had problems when I came out." My mind went straight to me watching someone bite their own fingers off. I'll never be able to forget that. I had even watched someone bite their own fingers off. I know all of you wouldn't even be that crazy to do such a thing. Ever since then, I've never been able to get it out of my head. It's like a haunting nightmare, but it keeps returning during the day, not just during the night. Sometimes I go into a panic or start crying because I remember that terrible thing that had happened. I looked at Masky, and he just nodded his head. I walked out the door, then found a passed-out Jeff in the hallway. I nudged him in the side with my foot, and then he grabbed my leg.